Alrighty, welcome back to Big Irons Back 40. And today we have a special podcast we're doing. We'll be doing Big Irons Back and Forth. That's what I want to call it. This is my first time, first episode of sitting down and have an interview style podcast. And if you see me looking up and down, it's because I've written some things down. I wanted to try to have some questions to my interviewee, which today I'll be pulling up the chair with my son Dylan, and we'll be getting into the thick of it, talking real life with his journey growing up homeschooled, heading across the country to college, out to Georgia where he's working out there, and then navigating the heavy waters of coming back home to here. And life throws you some curveballs, and we're going to be talking about how a man's character is built, and when he's starting to lay a new foundation back here at home. And pun intended, he's trying to get into the construction trades. He's doing very well. We'll get into that in a little bit with him. And whether you're in a valley right now or you're just looking for some honest father-son talk, um, I hope that there's something in this for you. Thank you for tuning in. And we're going to get into the thick of it here in just a minute with Dylan. And I'm looking forward to today's first ever Big Irons Back and Forth sit down interview style podcast. And all right, we'll be back in a minute to spend some time with Dylan, getting to know him and his thoughts about growing up Sears. All right, we'll be right back. Got a little paragraph I'll read, then we'll just lead into the questions. All right.
I actually thought about something we were talking about earlier.
Uh-huh.
Didn't Abraham Lincoln's mom die of like mad cow disease from milk?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that.
You have like a laptop?
Yeah, I have a phone, but right now I'm using it as a camera. So we'll get going here in just a second. Anyway, and we'll look that up when we're done. Sound good? Alrighty. So welcome to Big Irons Back 40. And this will be our first interview style podcast. And we're going to call it Big Irons Back and Forth. And so this is my son Dylan, and he chose to get interviewed by his dad, me today, and we're going to see how this pans out. So as we get started here, let's get into it. And I want to open up with with some scripture when we do these things. And I thought of Proverbs 1:5. My Bible says, "A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels." Today we're sitting down with a special guest, my boy Dylan, and 27 years old. Wait a minute, you turned 27 later this summer, right? You're 26. Okay, he's almost 27, and he's lived a lot of life in those years. We're going to talk about where he's been, what he's learned, and where he's heading. And Dylan, thanks for pulling up a chair on Big Irons Back 40s, Big Irons Back and Forth.
My pleasure.
Alrighty.
It's an honor to be the first guest.
Yeah, I appreciate you volunteering, right? And so let's start out with growing up Sears and your school days. And so I haven't given Dylan the questions that I've come up with, kind of told him the segments that we'll go through, but these will be brand new questions for Dylan right now. And you got you a cup of coffee or something to drink there as we get going here?
Do.
Open up me a no carb C4. So we'll get, that way I get all amped up while we're doing this. Okay.
To do it.
Yeah. All right. So let's start out with starting out being homeschooled, day by day Christian school. That's where you went to school, right here in our home. And that was an official school here in California. We were registered as a private school, even though you and your siblings were our only students. But it was legit day by day Christian school. So just tell me in your own words, looking back on those younger days under our roof, what was something that me and your mom tried to instill in you that you still carry today? But remember that, but just start out. What are your thoughts you have about day by day Christian school and growing up? And I'm calling it Sears, growing up Sears.
Well, homeschooling is very unique in that not every day looks the same. And actually every day starts differently for different students. For me, homeschooling, my day would start at 6 a.m. I'd wake up, there'd be a list of chores I'd have to do. We had 2 dogs at the time, so that was my chore, was to go outside, make sure they were fed, make sure we had the pigs fed, we had the chicken if we had one, cats were fed. So it was pretty much you get up, you get going, and started on the chores. And once the chores were done, which was about 7 a.m., that's when I would have an opportunity to do devotions, and then pray and start the day like that. Around 7:30, I'd get some breakfast, maybe make some multo meal, or uh, I like hard boiled eggs, so I ate a lot of those. And around 8 a.m., I'd start my school. So being homeschooled from first grade to all the way senior year high school, um, it just depended on what level I was doing, for what subject: math, reading, arithmetic, reading, and I forget the third one. What's the third one?
Reading, writing, arithmetic.
That was it.
That's
Yeah.
old school. We don't do all this whatever crap they got going on today.
Yeah, there were no gender studies.
Yeah.
For homeroom.
There were gender studies. You're a male, and mom was a female.
Yeah.
And so was your sister, and that was it.
Yep. Well, that was kind of before that all that was happening. I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, it's still the same.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was my day. Is with homeschooling, if you study and you get down to work, you can wrap it up around noon, 1 o'clock, if you really push for it. So about 1 o'clock, I'd be done. That left you a lot of time to kind of do whatever you want. So I pursued a lot of interests. I like working out. I like boxing. So you remember the old boxing bag I had strung up between 2 trees? That was a lot of fun. Spent a lot of hours on that. Like video games. I played Madden a lot. Like to build things. So yeah, I kind of spent my day like that. And then around 4 or 5 o'clock, you'd get home, and earlier days you had your business, so I'd help with loading up the spray rigs, cleaning those, organizing herbicide, and around 7 we'd have dinner, and we'd work depending on what we had to do till about 9 o'clock, and then I'd play piano or something, and go to bed, do it all over again.
That sounds like a full day.
It was growing up Sears for sure.
Yep. I guess touch on a couple of those things brought to mind. You did feed the animals. You and your siblings did. And I know that you did quite a bit of the feeding. What was your dog's name? Your dog?
Oh, Cody.
Oh, Cody, huh?
Yep.
3-legged dog. He'd run around here with his 3 legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dog.
Sometimes I forget that.
Yep.
He had 3 legs.
We have that big cedar tree right over here, and we call it Cody's tree because all day, and whenever a dog will kind of lay down and be lazy for the day, he laid underneath that tree over there. So to this day, we call it Cody's tree. All right. And some of the other things that I was thinking about was you and your sister were really good at being diligent and getting your school done. Just you had this to do, and it seemed like you did. Really put your nose to the grindstone on the books. Your 2 brothers. We had to work on them a little bit more to get them to get the studying done. But yeah, I appreciate, and I know your mom does, that you were more self-sufficient in those ways.
I'll let them comment on that when they come on the podcast.
Well, when they come on the podcast, we'll address those things. But I will say that you and your sister were really good at getting stuff done on your own when you were given the homework. As far as working for me, I know that you and your brother, everyone's worked for me, but especially you and your brother. I look back on those days, and I got to tell you, if I had a regret, it was that I'd put you boys, you'd be working an 8 or 9 hour shift when I come home, because I would come home from work and then work another 8 or 10 hours with my business. And you guys were right there with me, helping me get stuff ready, preparing for the next job or the weekend, doing a bunch of jobs on the weekend. And so I know I look back on that, and I should have scaled it back maybe an hour or 2.
Well, I certainly thought I would be cleaning spray tanks a lot more often in my life.
Yeah. Well, I did that business for about a solid 10 years. I did, I think, maybe 12, and then just kind of bled away from it because this is about you, but I started promoting at work and started having more efforts went more into my work. And I started thinking, I can't do both. I need to pick one or the other. And so I went ahead and picked that one. So that's why you don't clean spray tanks now. So, but let's get back to you here. So anything else you'd like to add to your homeschool days or just growing up Sears? I was trying to think of some of the things you got. We burn wood to heat our home, so there's a lot of wood splitting going on. I got an event in my mind. Let's see if you think about it. What's an event splitting wood you remember?
Well, when I broke my finger, that was
Yeah. How'd you
pretty
break your finger?
well. I stuck it behind I stuck it between the piece of wood and the backstop as
Yeah.
it was getting split, and
I think I
it
think
split my finger.
on that one your mom had to pull my reins a little bit because we had to take you to the doctor to get your finger doctored up because putting it in the log splitter. I think you'd been to the hospital like the week before for something, getting stitches or broke something. I can't remember. But I remember your mom saying they're going to start looking into us because we're bringing these boys in, getting you stitched up and casts put on every other week. And so I had to scale back a little bit. Yeah, I remember that one. You didn't get it in the splitter. You're right. The wood was opened up. I pulled the splitter back and your finger was in the wood and it clamped back down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one. I do. Well, I'm glad you survived it. You've so far you've survived growing up Sears, so that's good. All right. Well, you feel free to come back to any of these questions if you think of something along the way. All right.
Yeah. Well, one other thing is I really appreciated you working and having time off because we were able to really travel a lot. I didn't
Yeah.
really realize how much we traveled and did stuff until I started getting friends of my own outside,
Yep.
in college and out in life, and going to Disneyland, going to national parks, going to the Bay Area, or we were in Oklahoma doing a lot of trips there.
Yep.
Really well traveled, and
Well,
I didn't really realize that until I started talking to other people, and they barely even left their hometown. So
well, I wanted to. Me and your mom wanted you to definitely know the rest of your family. We've got a big family in Colorado, and then my entire all generations live in Oklahoma, where I'm from, and we wanted to make sure that you had that experience knowing those folks. And so I added up. I think probably on average we've been back there every other year.
sounds about right.
We've had some long stretches, but then we've had some stretches where we went a couple of times, back to back, or even I think one time we went like 3 times in one year. Family events going on. But yeah, I was. That's good you bring that up because I don't know how many times we went to Disneyland, but we went numerous ones. And I know that if it wasn't for your mom, you guys would not be cultured whatsoever because I don't. I love going to the plays. I love going to the things that she's taken us to over the years. So thankfully, you had your mom that organized those ends of those kind of events because I definitely am not going to organize us going to Peter Pan, but I'm glad we went. And uh, some others, I guess we went to, but I wanted you to have that motherland experience. I call Oklahoma my motherland, and so I hope you did. I think you did. Got a lot of memories of the catfishing and fireworks and hunting, fishing,
Yep.
quads, whatever. And we've done our fair share of that around the back 40 here too. And so, all right. So let's move on to another question here. Looking back, I asked this question kind of early on. Let me ask this one again. Uh, so growing up, is there something that me and your mom instilled in you that you do carry with you today?
Uh, Definitely the value of hard work, of getting it up, getting it done, um, making sure that you do the best you can do, and that you have a good attitude about it. That makes all the difference.
You have a Bible verse or something that might go with your growing up Sears? Anything like that?
There's a verse in Ecclesiastes that often comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's I forget the reference, but it's whatever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might.
Mm-hmm. I believe it's Ecclesiastes 10, and I think it's the first half of the verse, like 10a. I think I might be wrong about that, but yeah, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do it with thy might. So it's a good one. Good one. All right, and then you grew up Sears, homeschooled day by day Christian school. Then you headed east. Went to Pensacola Christian College and got a degree out there. What were your degree? What degrees did you get?
I got 2 bachelor's degrees, one in business management and one in marketing.
Okay. So have you done really well on getting those loans paid off, those college loans? And
sold a lot of firewood. So yeah.
So my point in that is that you graduated debt free, and we're very thankful the Lord provided. He used you, your hard work, working at the school, uh, me working, mom working, selling firewood, grandma and grandpa. So a little bit of everybody helping out, getting you and your siblings through college.
Not just us,
So,
but also Lord provided with
oh
scholarships,
yeah,
church
yeah,
scholarships,
yeah.
community
So
scholarships,
did you take
school
advantage of that
scholarships.
scholarship at Wolf Mountain? Did
I
they?
did.
Okay,
Yeah, camp scholarship
yeah.
as well.
Me and your
So
mom mapped that out one time. And if you come home and you get a job all summer, there was you. I would say you made money because you don't make money. It's a scholarship that goes through your school bill. But the idea is if you came home and worked, you would save money to go to school. Well, you made more money, and I use that word made very loosely, uh, to pay for the school bill more by doing the scholarship, working for the Christian camp all summer, than if you came here and just got a job. Um, paying taxes on all that, and then they don't ever hire you full time. It's only 20 hours a week. Where over at camp, you probably put in 80-hour work weeks over there. So you earned your money. I'm not saying you didn't, but yeah, those scholarships were very good, and I can't think of some of the other scholarships you got. I'm trying to think. Did you get the one from the Pilots Association over
yeah, I
there?
got one from an association up here in Swansboro,
Oh, that's cool.
and I
I
got
forgot
one
about that.
from the school as well.
Huh.
And it was about a year full of
Yeah. And
benefits.
that's on top of that fourth year free program they have,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
you did
with
that
that.
one. I think all of you have done that one. So that was a
They
good
don't
one.
offer it
They don't?
anymore.
I thought, yeah, okay. Well, I know that DJ did, you did, and then Dana did. I'm not sure about Derek, but anyway, well, that's cool. So we got you to college, and you did graduate debt free. But while you're at college, um, let me see here. Let's. You headed across country, went to Pensacola Christian College. What were the biggest reality checks you had when you finally stepped out and headed to college? What were some reality checks? You weren't under the authority of mom and dad while you were out in college, even though you were under our authority, but you were 3,000 miles away from us seeing whatever. So what were some of the those reality checks?
Definitely the value of a weekend. I remember
Yeah.
I remember getting to my first Friday and just thinking, wow, I am looking forward to tomorrow where I can sleep in
Yep.
and I don't have to do anything.
I think of that George Jones song. It's finally Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Anything else?
No, just it was a good experience. Pensacola is a great place. Visited many times, and it's just a wonderful place to go to the beach, place to go do things, a lot of
I do like Florida.
activities. And
Yeah.
yeah,
If Oklahoma ceased to exist, Florida would be the secondary place I'd want to go to. I do like me some Florida. All right. If you had to go back in time, back to the day you were packing bags to head to school, and you're thinking about 18-year-old Dylan, what was a piece of advice that you would give yourself? You're heading to school, things you know now. What would be a good piece of advice you'd give yourself?
well, I try not to think about the past like that. Everything
That's good.
happens for a reason, and um, I don't think I would change anything about it or give any advice. I kind of learned along the way, and that's what grew me and made me into who I am today. And um, yeah, I don't think I'd really want to go back to that time at all. I just really appreciated all the opportunities I was given.
That's good. It's a good way of looking at it. I like that. All right. Let's see here. Uh, so we got you through homeschooling. We got you out of the house, headed to college. And let's see here. You after college, you moved to Georgia. You went out there, and I think you did some farm work out there. And I'm not sure what all you did out there, but anything you want to discuss about your Georgia time before we bring you back home?
It was pretty awesome to walk into a Walmart with a 9 millimeter stretched out with concealed carry or constitutional carry.
Constitutional
Yeah,
carry.
these
You
things are
bet.
a little different out there.
Yep, they're like that in the motherland too. We're trying to get that out here out west, but that's good. So,
Yeah,
all right. So, and you did work for a farm or something there for a while,
I
didn't
worked
you?
on a sod farm for about 2 months. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did some sod laying when I was in high school, working for a family relatives. They owned a nursery, and I learned how to lay out sod working for them in the summertime. Anything else you want to add about your Georgia time, or want to bring you back here to back home?
Well, yeah. Georgia's beautiful. Loved living there. Loved living in Alabama and Florida. So all three of those states just have a lot to offer. Really opened my eyes to there's a lot of good places, and America is a beautiful country and has a lot of beautiful people in it. Made a lot of memories. Made a lot of friends, and went through some good times and bad times. But I'm happy to be back here in California. It's a nice place to live.
Yeah. Well, me and your mom picked a good spot to raise a family, that's for sure. Up here on this mountain, living on the back 40, so you can't beat the weather. I mean, we got some awesome weather today. I can't decide to put my jacket on or keep it off today because right now it's getting a little chilly. But out working, we were doing chores a little bit ago and getting a little warm. All right. So a lot of men, they get knocked around from time to time, and they got to make some decisions where they're going to land. So you returned back home, and you have some current ambitions right now. And I did an opening segment before you came out here, and I briefly discussed about you laying a new foundation, pun intended. You're in the construction trades, and so you got back here, and you've got an idea of what to do next. What is that?
Well, just continue working. I work full time for a contractor, and we do all the trades: plumbing, electrical, concrete. Actually, just yesterday I was laying stone as a stonemason, so it's really interesting. I keep learning new skills. No day is the same, which is really nice. It doesn't feel mundane at all.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, and just learn a lot. There's a lot to building a house. I think it's always everyone has like a really good idea of what they want their house to look like or how they want it done. But getting to do the work and just really doing the work, uh, that there's no better way to get the skill and experience you need to do that. And it really opens your eyes and appreciates all the blue collar, hardworking people out there. You just drive by a home, you don't understand, how much work just went into insulating or putting wire in or laying tile. Kind of like when you drive on a road, you don't think about the crew that put it there, that cleared the land, the heavy equipment operators that leveled it, and then the workers that would lay the asphalt. So something we take for granted a lot, I feel.
Yeah, I do know that being a general contractor, which I think you're trying to get your general right now. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Trying to actively do that. So you get the wide spectrum things you get to do, and in my job capacity, we do a lot of different things, and I enjoy that. Just about the time I get tired of doing the one thing, we switch and we do something different. So that definitely keeps it good. Keeps your mind working, learning, and one of the things this is one thing I've learned though is when I go back to doing the same thing, maybe months, weeks later, I got to be careful. Like, oh yeah, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same because it's never the same.
Yeah.
It never is. We just got through putting in culvert after culvert after culvert. Every single one of them was different. The aspects of it. So that's good that you're learning to do those things. It's a good trade to be in too. So are you wanting to like start your own business? Is that what you want to do eventually?
Yeah, I'd like to do that. Have my business and kind of like what you did, be able to make your own hours and work your own, I guess, empire is how I think about it.
Yeah. Well, it is good to work your own hours. The problem is, especially when you're starting out, you work all of the hours.
Yep.
There's all the hours you want to work or all of them.
Yeah.
And whether you want to or not.
For anyone who wants to start a business, don't think you'll be working any less.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
That's 100%. That's a hundo. All right. Okay. So you came back here, getting reestablished. You're looking to start your own business. In the meantime, you're getting the knowledge you need from a general contractor locally in the county here. And is that a good? I don't, you have to go too deep into this, but is it a good job working for this guy? Because I've worked construction early on. Whenever you and your brother were little babies, and I did it to put food on the table and to move to the next till I got to where I wanted to be. And a lot of those construction guys, it wasn't fun. It just. But how's this guy? This general contractor, is it a good guy to work for?
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely times where it's challenging, but that's just kind of wherever you work, you'll have things that you disagree on or things that happen that you don't it's oftentimes the first thing that is the first time that thing has ever happened to me, and it's really challenging to overcome those things. But I try to every morning when I wake up, I like to pray. I start my morning with some Bible reading, and then something I recently started doing is what I call six things. And I'll go outside. I'll think of six things that I'm thankful for, and that's how I like to start my day. And oftentimes, it doesn't change how bad the day is going to go or good it's going to go, but it keeps my mindset of being thankful and grateful for what I have and the opportunities that arise during the day.
That's good. So what do you call it? Six what? What?
Six things.
Just six, not things. Thanks.
Thanks. Six things.
All right, that's kind of cool. Yeah. I don't number them, but I often before I head out the door at 4 in the morning, I pray for the entire family, and then I usually pick somebody, from our men's breakfast group, whatever their needs were that they shared. So that's good. I should count them, see if that's it. But
I should explain it's not some kooky. I'm not thinking the universe. I'm
No, I
actually
got you.
thanking
No,
God
no.
for these things that He
Yeah,
put
yeah.
in my life.
Yeah.
It really helps me
Yeah.
remember that
That's
I
good.
should be thankful.
No, I got what you mean, and so that's good. Okay, we're starting to wrap this up here. I want to ask you real quick. Outside of me and your mom, who is someone, a boss, a friend, a mentor, who gave you a piece of advice that has really stuck to your ribs? And what was it?
That's a tough one because I've been blessed with a lot of people in my life that have just gone out of their way to make sure that I either most of the time it was a behavior or something that I was doing I didn't realize that was not conducive to living a good life, and they were able to pull me aside and just tell me, hey, what I was doing was probably not the best thing I should be, and there's been a lot of those. It brings to mind a boss I had back in college. He was really good. Um, when I was in college, I also worked in a construction capacity. I built stages for plays and operas and fine arts. And he really took time out of his day to spend time with me. He had a big crew, but he made sure that I knew that he cared about me and that he was looking out for me. And he made sure that I worked hard too. But um, I think he had a really famous saying around the shop where it was pray like everything depends on God and work like everything else depends on you. And it was really really stuck with me to do that, to think of it that way.
Yeah.
So that really shaped my work ethic.
Well, that actually I like that because everything does depend on God. And then what was the part about you? Everything depends on God, but what was the second part?
Pray like everything depends on God,
Thank you.
and work like everything else depends on
Work
you.
like everything else. Yeah, that's good because God uses people. He uses man to accomplish his deeds and his tasks on this planet. So we need to be faithful workers, whether we're driving a nail or running a paver or witnessing or just, whatever. All right, that's good. I like that. You should write that stuff down, by the way. That way you can share it with me.
It was told to me enough times.
Yeah. All right.
I'm not going to forget it.
We'll write it down for me because like the six thanks and then what you just shared, I thought those are pretty cool. So, yeah. Well, Dylan, I don't know how long the interview was. We'll find out here in a minute. But it was good to get to know you all the way from you being born. You know what? I just thought of a story when you were a little kid. Do you remember? Um, oh my! How did I say that? You were my scuba, or not scuba, snorkel buddy. Do you remember that?
I remember snorkeling a lot.
Yeah, we did.
I remember seeing a bunch of catfish up in Stumpy Meadows.
Yeah, yep. Well, when we went to Hawaii, we were snorkeling around that little fish aquarium place near the ocean there. Beautiful place. And I just remember you were just a little bitty guy. I remember holding your hand, and you and I just snorkeling around. Um, and then I think that was what I called it. I called you my snorkel buddy, I think, or something like that. And then we went and snorkeled up at Stumpy Meadows, which that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do remember those catfish. Yeah. So I don't know why that just popped in my head just now, but talking about who you are as a little guy, day by day Christian school, growing up Sears, college days, going away from home, working and coming back, and really trying to start a foundational life here in the construction trades. And so appreciate you sharing all that with us today. And I guess I did have one more quick question. I can't even remember where I wrote it down, but oh, well, I'll ask you later. Where do you see yourself in a couple of years? How do you see your future going? Like, what's your plan?
Well, I like to continue in the construction trade and be a general contractor and own my own business. Live here in California and start a family. Be cool.
Nice, nice. Buy a house right down the hill from us, right? We're trying to get him to buy this house at the bottom of the hill from us, and that way we got matching properties. We'll call it Sears Mountain or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, I appreciate you being here with me today, son. And it takes grit to share the highs and lows. And I'm proud of the man that you've become. I appreciate you. And so let's wrap this up with a quick back and forth scripture. And one of the closing scripture that I thought about was Proverbs 27:17. You remember what that one is? I know you know what it is, but keep iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. So keep on keeping the faith, keep strong, keep grinding away, keep sharpening the folks around you. And I do appreciate you tuning in and being a part of my Back 40 Back and Forth podcast today, being my first, we'll call you victim, all right? We'll see if we can't get your siblings or your mom to get in on this. But I appreciate you being a part of the program today.
It was my pleasure.
All right, love you, son. All right, we'll see you next time on the Big Iron Back and Forth. And keep watching for the posts I put, the shorts and the long form videos. And whatever platform you're using, hit the likes, subscribes, and maybe even put in some comments in there. Let us know what you're thinking. All right, we'll catch you on the next one. Alrighty, I hope you enjoyed Big Irons Back and Forth, my first ever podcast interview. I enjoyed just getting the perspective from my son, growing up and the things he's done. And anyway, we'll tweak these interviews as they come along and see if I can't get some more family background going and maybe find some interesting friends. I don't need to find them. I know I have some friends that have some interesting backstories, but find the ones that want to be interviewed this way. I just enjoy talking to people, getting to know them a little bit. And so anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed actually sitting down and just having a little conversation with my son like that. And I hope you enjoyed it too. And if you got any ideas, be sure to comment. Like I said before, at the end of the interview there, click like, subscribe, all the buttons and bells and whistles. You know what to do. All right, folks, just remember, when you pillow your head at night, know this, that Big Iron loves you. Have a good day.